What are the environmental implications of large fish farms on the natural environment? Stay tuned. Okay, so for the past couple of weeks, I've been sharing with you, you know, tilapia fish farming in Jamaica. There are several large tilapia fish farms in Jamaica. A matter of fact, the last survey done by RADA indicated that there were an average of about 1,500, or should I say 1,500 tilapia fish farms in Jamaica. And these farms ranges from large to medium size, yeah, from large to small. Okay, so I have I would say a mini um fish farm set up at my yard with about probably about on whole about 35 systems, including some aquariums, some containers, some 55-gallon drum, and some totes, in which I keep fish, I breed fish, and at times I might trade fish. Around the space in which I actually you know, place these containers are different trees. I have breadfruit tree, mango tree, cherry tree, lime, soursop, ackee, guinea, to name a few. Right? Yeah, man. I have a lot of fruit trees in my yard. Okay, so on a given, you know, water change or schedule maintenance day, I will practically direct my water to actually uh be turned to the roots of these trees. So therefore, my breadfruit tree and my cherry tree and my ackee tree, all my trees in my yard would actually would bask in the nutritious, or should I say, the nutrients that is coming from the fish ponds. All right. Okay. So let's say that, and I'm not throwing stone at any particular fish farm, right? Because this is just something that occur internationally, locally, and regionally, right? Um, when a massive water change is done, let's say that you have completed, uh, the whole idea of changing water, or should I say, at the end of a particular pond's life, you have actually reaped all the stock, and you're going to be releasing the water. The question is, where does all of this water actually go? All right, the answer, simply put, to the nearby um, water space that is practically either a drain or a gutter, or everything end up back in the river, right? So the river is practically the dumping ground for the water that has been released from ponds. Okay, so frankly speaking, there's nothing wrong with that, because water actually, as a result of the way in which earth is set up, the earth actually purify the water again, and you end up with what you call a water cycle. So the water actually goes through this water space, and eventually end up the river water end up into the sea, right? But what are some of the immediate implications of doing all of this? Okay, so we know, I shared with you before that actually the farms, whether it be rather or whether it be the other farm in which whenever they are doing large water change, they would practically use the water source nearby, which is a canal or a river, right? So the water is actually taken and it's trained, and steps are taken so as to not allow critters in which you don't want in your system to be in your system, right? When releasing the water back into the natural water space, you're talking about gallons of water, thousands of gallons of water, right? Being released into the water space. As a result of that, several issues occur. One is that for a while, if let's say that you're going to be releasing a 1 acre, 2 acre pond water, and this is done incrementally, slowly. It's not done like one gush, right? uh Several things are going to happen. One, um the natural habitat of the river system is going to be altered a little bit, even if it's for just for a few days. You're gonna see some changes in the water. It's gonna be looking murky, or should I say dirty. So the water get brown, uh, and chances are the water has a little funny smell. That means those persons within the river stream, probably a half mile on the road, or probably a few chains or yard down the river stream, might not be able to use the river water so as to do domestic tasks. The commercial entities would probably be able to use mechanisms so as to strain and purify the water as the water actually looks brown coming down due to the release of water from from nearby pond system. This is something that you can't really get get rid of, right? This is something that you have to just live with and adapt to it, right? But here it's not about right or wrong. It's about practically the implication. I am not here to share how you're gonna manage it. I'm just here to actually put it on the table as to sharing with you the environmental implication of actually releasing large pond space water within natural habitats. So in addition to the water becoming brown, high instances of nutrients within the water, within the river space, will actually be there for a while until the river actually gradually washes it downstream, and it end up being used by the vegetation within the stream, or it's just washed at sea, and the soil and the and the rocks serve as a buffer so as to neutralize the nitrites and nitrates that's within the water space, right? So it will take a while. So what you'll find is that you might end up with some form of algae bloom within the space. You might end up with overgrowth of weeds and plants within the river water space, and all of this is emanating from the just releasing the waste from the how should I say the water from the large pond space. You're talking about thousands of gallons, into the natural water space, right? So these are some of the possible implications of it within the environment. In addition, you have a lot of water actually coming. Although I say that it's done incrementally, but you have a lot of water coming into the stream, and it's as if the volume of the water that is now traveling within the river channel have increased, and with possibility of the gradient of the river being impacted, meaning that some of the sediment at the lower base of the river being eroded, making some section of the river a little bit more steeper. It also allows for larger predators to enter within the space unnoticed, such as crocodiles and alligators. Crocodiles, alligators, well, um, I think it's crocodile. I don't think alligators in Jamaica, right? In addition to that, right, you also find that several of the natural habitats, several of the fish species that originates within the river stream is actually forced downstream as a result of the gradient push with the volume of the water. Everything is being washed down. Some large fish or some small fish might be forced downstream and find it very difficult to come back, or should I say, to return to where they were before. Fish actually tend to stay where they feel safe, or where it is, yeah, where they feel safe, either to procreate or just to live, right? So displacement of aquatic creatures within the water space do occur as a result of the release of this water there. In Jamaica, there is a policy in place, so as to install ponds and large farms. You have to go through a process. I think the process involved the National Environmental Planning Agency, the NEPA, and there are some mitigating steps that large farmers, fish farmers, fish pond farmers, has to put in place so as to ensure that all of what you said a while ago. It's just it's either prevented or minimized, right? In addition, to all of that said, I will not choke the whole conversation with possibilities and and all innuendos, but I will just say this, that releasing of the water, rivers, streams, and springs are all natural ways in which water authorities throughout the world have actually been able to actually get water so as to provide water supply for both commercial and domestic use, right? The use of rivers as a source for large pond system, pond farms, is nothing new. This is done throughout the world, especially in Europe. I've seen extreme cases where in which an entire river have actually been used, and a small portion of the river stream is left for the, whether it be nearby community industries, so as to get water from that, while they actually cordon off a particular area that actually see water going into a large area, fueling the water supply for specific large fish farms. It's advantageous whenever such systems are built within clay-laden areas, as clay serves as a detox agent for water supply that has been heavily tainted with nitrates and nitrites. In addition, limestone and other rock minerals serve as a means of deodorizing, or should I say, not deodorizing, yeah, detoxifying the water supply. So environmentally speaking, there is not much negative implication. Where the negative implication might seem too vivid is where the water level for the river stream is not to the i- i- is not that much. Thus, the extraction of water from the river might end up decrease the volume of water that exists in the river. Also, the the release of water from farms into nearby streams and rivers might result in flooding of the areas down the gradient as the water move in high volume down particular slopes. There is nowhere within the spaces in which I've visited that these are of problem. The only thing I've seen is that water becomes brown, and for a while, for a couple of days, you might not be able to see the stream full, the clear, crystal clear water. In addition, you might have high instances of algae or green water or weed within the riverway, river channel, right? There's not much houses or home or establishment along the river course. Thus, even should the river channel becomes widened, over flooded with the water that is being released, it should not pose any immediate problems to both domestic as well as commercial entities downstream. This is one of the ways in which you can actually cut costs, because with high costs comes high cost of the product that is actually being looked about. So therefore, all of this actually pens out back with reasonability as far as the fish costing is concerned. I know that this video is a little bit long, but it's hope that you got something of value from it. Do have a wonderful day. Peace out. Catch you next time.